Okay, so to continue on from the previous lesson, what I want you to do is go ahead and click on this bone and go to the bone tab and make sure that the deform is unchecked. And let's go ahead and now name this bone. We're going to call this M dot eyes dot follow dot head and enter. Now let's take a look at the locks on this. So here we just want to lock everything on this bone. Go ahead and zoom in and just do the middle mouse button to rotate over here. And what we want to do is click on this bone and make sure that everything is locked, because these are just mechanical bones. Go ahead and lock all these, click on this and lock all these. Now we need to get to the bones inside, so you can simply just click again to select the bone. Just make sure you selected the right bone, and now go ahead and lock the rotation. Do the same thing on this bone. Go ahead and lock, go ahead and click again, and go ahead and lock. So all these bones should now be locked. Over here, we're going to take a look at this once again. So here, this is what we want. We want to change the location, and over here, we want to change the location and rotation. So this is good to go. So go ahead under File, do Save As, and we're going to save this as a rigging lesson 03 i.blend. So now what we're going to do is create the bone shapes. So go ahead and select on this eye center touch bone, do Shift S, and here we're going to do cursor to selected, do Shift A, and of course just add a circle. Now here just click on this bone, zoom out, press the Shift key down, click on this circle, do Shift Control C, and over here we're going to do copy transforms. Click on this circle, do Control A, visual transform, go to the constraints, and of course turn this off. Now here we're going to call this W dot I dot center dot touch. Enter. Okay, now let's go ahead and zoom in, click on this bone, go to the bone tab, and over here we're going to click on this right over here. You'll see the circle appear. Now of course you have to zoom out, click on this, and in object mode press the S key to scale this down. Go ahead and zoom in, scale this down over here. Now press the 1 key to go to your front view so you can see this. Press the S key to scale this down. Now again, don't match it perfectly, keep it out a little bit so you can select the object. Now go ahead and press the tab key on the object itself. Now what we want to do is go ahead and press the A key to deselect everything, press the C key to bring up the circle select, use your scroll wheel to make this bigger or smaller, and just go ahead and select all these vertices over here. Right click to get out of it, do X and delete the vertices. Now go to the modifiers. Here we're just going to add a mirror modifier, make sure that clipping is on, and check this box. Now what we want to do is create a nice shape, kind of like goggles over here. So to do this, what you want to do is go ahead and press the A key to select everything. And here I like to do W and subdivide, okay, to give more vertices to the circle. Now what we want to do is go ahead and click this, and here we're just going to do enable. This is just proportional editing. So what this means is that you have to right click over here, and here if you press the G key, you have to actually scroll your mouse wheel. Sometimes this can become huge, so you have to keep scrolling it up to bring it down. So basically now when you move it, you can see that we can start to create a shape. So I'm going to right click to cancel this, do Shift middle mouse button to kind of bring it over here. And here you just want to spend some time and create a nice shape for some goggles. So here I'm just going to press the G key and go ahead and expand this. First kind of bring it over here. Now you can spend all day on this concept. Okay, so here I'm going to click over here and kind of like do it like this. Click over here and click on this center, kind of like put it over here, and click on this press the G key, and kind of position it in this way. Here I'm going to do the same thing, bring this down first, then let's say click on this and use your scroll wheel to use proportional editing to your advantage over here. Now press the tab key to see how this is going. This is fine. Now here again, you can of course click on all these vertices over here, do W and do subdivide to give yourself more if you want. I'll do subdivide over here. It just gives you the ability to add a bit more nice curvature on this. Okay, now go ahead and press the tab key. So here what I like to do is I'm just going to kind of make it kind of like cat eyes. Okay, and here I'm just going to click again and kind of like move it over here. Okay, so what you need to understand about this concept is that here when we're using a modifier, the mirror modifier, you really don't want to delete this, right? Because you could look at this the next day and then say that I want to change this shape. So it's a good idea to keep this intact. Okay, so here I'm satisfied with the way this looks. I might change it a little later. So here what we're going to do is go ahead and press the M key on this and go ahead and throw it on this last layer. Okay, so that's gone. So now we can click this and press the G key and just test it out so it looks fine. Okay, this is how this is going to be. Now what we want to do is go ahead and add bone shapes to these. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Go ahead and click on this bone, do Shift S. Here we're going to do cursor to selected, do Shift A, add a circle, go ahead and click on this bone, zoom out, press the Shift key down, click on this, do Shift Control C and do copy transforms, click over here, do Control A, do visual transform, go to the constraints and turn this off. Now here we're going to type in W dot I dot touch dot L, enter. Now in object mode, this L is really not going to do anything for us because this is a separate object, but it's a good naming convention to stick with. So anyways, go ahead and now zoom in, click on this bone, go to the bone tab, and over here we're looking for I.touch.L. Go ahead and click this, it'll appear. Now of course we have to zoom out, click over here in object mode, press the S key to scale this down, go ahead and zoom in, scale it down again, zoom in and scale it down. Now press the tab key to go into edit mode, press the 3 key to go into your right view. Again, you can press the period key to home in on this, and press the R key, press the control key down and rotate by 90. Now press the 1 key. Now here I'm going to press the tab key first and press the S key to scale this down a bit. Now press the tab key, press the S key to scale the whole circle down. Okay, that's how this is going to look. Okay, now what you want to do is go ahead and just do Shift D to duplicate and just place this over here, and let's go to the constraints and remove the constraints on this. Remember we did a visual transform, so it's already going to be there, the location and rotation, so we don't have to actually have to worry about keeping that on. So now what we're going to do is click on this, do Shift S and do cursor to selected. Go ahead and click this, do Shift S and do selection to cursor. And go ahead and just change this to .R and enter. Okay, now click on this, go to the bone tab, and of course we're looking for the touch.R. Click this. Now everything should be ready to go. Go ahead and press the 1 key. Now go ahead and click on this object over here. You might have to zoom in to actually select this. Press the Shift key down, click on this one, press the N key and throw them on this layer. Now again, you can press the Shift key down and turn these layers back on. If you want to, let's say, go back over here and now press the tab key, and let's say you feel like modifying this a little bit more, making it a different shape, let's say. press the tab key. Okay, so you can spend all day on these. Go ahead and click this. So now this is ready, and this is ready. So now what we want to do is click on this, press the shift key down, click on this, and click on this. So here we're just selecting the bones. So we're going to press the M key and of course put them on this first layer, right? Because our touch bones are always going to be on this layer over here. Okay, so now if you go to this data tab and only enable this layer, you will see that what we have here is the bones to rotate the head, rotate the neck, and of course change the rotation of both eyes. Okay, so that's ready to go. So here we're going to go ahead and now click on this figure, press the tab key, and of course here we have this still selected. I'm just going to show you that you can press the period key to home in on this and just click on this vertex and do Control L to just select this whole thing, do X and delete the vertices. Okay, and that's it, that's ready to go. Now press the 3 key to go to the right view over here, and here we're just going to do File and Save. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take a look at how to work with these stretch bounds. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have the figure selected, switch to edit mode, and make sure that you turn this off. Should be on disable, switch back to object mode, and let's go ahead and turn the figure off. Just click on this eye, click on the armature, press the shift key down and turn on the non-deformed bones. Press the 7 key to go to your top view. Go ahead and zoom in, do shift middle mouse button. Now what we're going to do is click on this bone and press the H key to hide it. You can do Alt H to always bring it back. Just do H to hide it because we need to take a look at how to work with this stretch bone. Now here you're going to do Shift S and do cursor to selected. Do Shift A, and over here we're just going to add a plane. Now go ahead and click on this bone. Go ahead and zoom out and press the Shift key down. Click on this plane, do Shift Control C, and you want to do copy transforms. Click on the plane, do Control A, do visual transform. Go ahead and click on the constraints and turn this off. Now what I want you to do is press the tab key to go into edit mode. Now press the S key, press the X key, and just scale it on its vertices, kind of like this over here. Okay. Now notice that the origin point for this plane is here, and these vertices are this far away from the origin point, and these vertices are this far away from the origin point. Go ahead and press the tab key to go into edit mode. Now here, just click on this red arrow, press the control key down, and just move it to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then about 10, just to get it out of the way. Now here we're going to click this and call this W.I.line and enter. Now go ahead and click on this bone and make sure that the shapes is checked. Go to the bone tab, and over here we're just going to select W.I.line. Okay, now take a look at what's going on with this. Remember, the 3D cursor is showing you where the head of the bone was. Okay, so basically what's happening is that this plane is being scaled down to this bone's scale, right? So you can see here that we have bone size. So we're going to keep this checked. Okay, if you uncheck it, it'll just not use the bone size. Okay, you want to make sure that this is checked. Go ahead and zoom in. Now this is optional, okay, but we're going to keep this checked to understand how to figure this out. So this means that if we move this plane in edit mode to where its origin point is, right, on this object, its origin point is here, this bone shape should also move to its origin point. So let's go ahead and do this. Click this, press the tab key to go into edit mode, click on this green arrow and just take it down over here, take it down a bit more till it comes to where this 3D cursor is. Okay, so over here you can of course press the G key and press the Y key to also move the whole thing like this to where this origin point is. Okay, So now if we look at what's going on in the bone, you can see that it did the same thing, right? This is where the origin point is for this plane, and this is where the vertices moved. Okay, so now what I want you to do is go over here and just uncheck this and check this to see where the scale is for this. Okay, so it's going to be right around here. So here we're going to take the grease pencil and click on a line and just draw a line to help us see where this is. Okay, now press the escape key. Now go ahead and turn on the shapes. So here what we're going to do is click this plane, press the tab key to go into edit mode, and over here this 3D cursor is fine, so we're going to switch this to 3D cursor and press the S key. So we're scaling the plane down basically. You can see that how this is moving over here, the bone is scaling, and this is what you want. Just go ahead and scale it down to where it comes to this line over here, and that's it. Okay, now what we can do is go ahead and let's say click on this vertex and zoom out, click on this vertex, do X and delete the vertices, press the A key to select all these vertices, and over here we're going to go ahead and switch this back to median point, press the G key, and here I'm just going to put this vertex where the object's origin point is, right? It's being shown in blue. Now press the tab key to go into object mode over here. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and press the S key to scale this. So you have to zoom out, press the S key to scale this down. It's the same concept that we just did before. In object mode, we're just scaling this down. Now go ahead and click on this red arrow and just bring it over here. Okay, and zoom in. Press the S key, right? We're going to just scale it down just like this, and make sure that you don't overlap it, because it's going to be difficult to select this. So now that's done. Okay, so go ahead and press the period key to home in on this, and go ahead and just rotate kind of like this over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically stretch this bone. Now we're going to go to the constraints tab. Now before we do that, what it's showing is that how far the head of the bone is to the bone that it's stretching to this. Okay, so here what we can do now is go ahead and click on this bone, press the 7 key to go to your top view, and go ahead and scale it back up, right? Because this is just in object mode. This is where this line is going to be, and that's it. Right now we can go ahead and press the M key and throw this on this layer. So we've got this established. So now all you really have to do is turn the figure back on, and over here make sure that you have this bone selected, press the M key, and make sure that it goes on this first layer, because this is where our touch bones are at. So go ahead and now switch this to the data tab, right? And now we can click this. Now over here you can see that we can actually click on this bone. Okay, so we want to disable the ability to click on this line. So the way to do this is that you have to hover your mouse over here, having this bone selected, and press the period key on your numpad. When you do this, Blender is going to show you where this bone is, right? Here you can simply click this arrow. So now you cannot select this line. You can simply click over here and press the G key, and this line will move. That's the idea behind this. Okay, now here of course you can just collapse all these, press the 3 key. So now if you take a look at what we've done, we simply used bone shapes to create this whole thing over here, right? That's how this works. So go ahead and press the 3 key over here, and we're just going to now do a final save on this file. I'm just going to do File and a Save. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.